My little gremlin laugh when Japan had it good far too long. They used to look at JoJo and thought, that's my homeboy. But now he's my homeboy. Hi, I live in Hawaii, aka the land that Jodio is going to buy when he gets filthy with and name it JOJOLands. Annie.
1, your boy's a drug mule. 2, is it Jodio or Jodio?
His name is Jodio, but the Spanish people will pronounce it as Jodio, like jalapeno.
And 2, is Hawaii going to become Neverland by Michael Jackson?
I sure hope it does.
I'm Minty.
And this is FunUntitled, where we serve every podcast with an FU. So, we have read the first chapter of JoJo's Part 9, JoJoLands.
The Paldean form.
Paldean form, where we meet our 15-year-old gangstar, Jodio Joestar. So, before we get into what the first chapter had, what do you think about Jodio?
I like him. I like that he's just this sassy kid who's just kind of living his life. Like, he's smart, but like wants to do his own thing. May not be correct, may not be the best thing. But you know, he's trailblazing, I guess.
While they were fighting sexual assault by the police officers, he brought out his stand, November Rains. What do you think about his stand, though?
That song sounds familiar. Is it an album? Or, right? Like,
Yeah, these are all song references, of course.
Guardian of the Galaxy vibe, but I think the stand itself is like a palm tree, rain cloud, spider combination.
It reminds me of, in part 5, there was a character named Prosciutto. Sorry, I forgot how to pronounce Prosciutto. And he had a stand called Grateful Dead that turns you old, and they both didn't have legs.
That's the comparison?
Yes. So I always thought that was a nice stand, so I'm glad that he's bringing back the no legs McGee.
Well, because I like the one, he doesn't have fists.
Oh.
Right? So how does the fighting work? It's just gonna walk over you?
He's gonna stomp your ass, man. Oh, you know, I have a better analogy. He reminds me of that virus from Digimon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the movie.
And in Trigun Stampede.
Boy, what you talking about? We don't know nothing about Trigun Stampede.
The little bombs?
Oh, but those guys just remind me of viruses in the human body.
What do you think they're all based off of?
Oh my god. I'm sorry I didn't catch that, okay? So yeah, we meet Jodio's brother, Dragona.
Regardless of their gender.
Because the translator did come out on Tumblr. Yes, sorry, I go on Tumblr. That they don't really know what to do with Dragona's pronouns, but they know that Jodio calls them his brother, so they just use he, him pronouns. What do you think about Dragona and Smooth Operators? His stand, though.
I like him. I think like he's super cool. And his powers is like being able to manipulate things with little people. Now, I'm not sure if like changing the license plate or changing the picture on the ID card. Is that like obviously the scratching is how he changes it. But is the change like a physical thing? Like there's an actual picture being swapped with another picture? Or is the stand creating a new picture to replace the old one?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. We didn't get to see much of November Rain and Smooth Operators in this chapter.
Michael Jackson.
So that's the number one thing I'm looking forward to see. How November Rain is more versatile. Because compared with Soft and Wet, it doesn't seem like it's good for anything other than pummel people. That must have been a wild stand to discover, by the way.
All of a sudden, there's this weird spider thing above you. I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, nothing.
You know, because I just remember when Jobin discovered his powers, just a stand comes out and just like, ooh, I'm gonna heat up your vein. Boop. And Jobin's like, well, this has just fucked up my entire life. Mama, I killed a man.
Yasuho got her stand, was like, hey, cool, you're on my phone.
Awesome. Can you find me AI porn? I wonder. See, what's interesting is that JoJoLand is taking place in modern day Hawaii. Like, COVID's happening.
The railway is there.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh my god, Araki, why did you add the unfinished railroad? Wait, what's it called?
Railway.
You know that shit's useless, right? You know,
Monorail.
Monorail, that's it. You know that shit's useless, right?
I mean, not for like another 10 or 20 years.
A true Hawaiian would have said...
Local.
Yeah, true local would have said, look at that piece of shit. Let's pause the story and look at that piece of shit.
To be fair, maybe he doesn't even know that's unoperationable.
That's true. They do the test ones currently. But yeah, anyways, Yasuho in modern day could have AI art.
She was ahead of her time.
So we follow Jodio to school and he delivers drugs. Now, what do you think about the theory that Jodio is Giorno in the new universe?
I feel it's gotta be a solid theory. I feel like the thing that really made it kind of obvious was that Dragona Smooth Operator has the number 9 on their head, or maybe it could be a 6.
Okay, we also thought that same thing, that Smooth Operators might have been Sex Pistols.
Yes,
Okay.
that's Mr. Counterpart.
A lot of Giorno Mr. fans are getting ready with their pitchforks.
Hey, I like that couple too, but I'm not the author, and this is like, gotta call a spade a spade. And the dude's a punk. He's drug muling, he's getting money. He's got this pretentious way of viewing the world. Like, oh, I'm not gonna call it a system. I'm gonna call it a mechanism. Like, shut the fuck up, dude.
God, that's JoJoLand's final chapter vibes. Is like, I don't even remember that thing Gappy kept saying.
It?
I was just like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I was like, stop bringing up this shit.
And like, here's the thing, Gappy. You can't bring up this thing that happened in the last chapter and say it was the overarching theme of the story.
Oh my god, what was
It was like the flow of calamity or some shit.
Yeah, shit.
And like, oh, that's my mom. That has everything to do with our story's theme. It's like, no, it doesn't. Keep walking.
They're gonna bring this up in chapter 1, then they're gonna bring this up in like chapter 3, and like, what the fuck is a mechanism? The fuck are you talking about?
Now, the bad timeline is that, you know how they normally keep the names that, for the counterparts? That means if Dio raised his son, his name would have been Godio.
Okay, I was gonna actually say, because when I saw Jodio, isn't that like Joe and Dio?
I wonder if that's the ship name.
I'm just saying, like, they made a baby and it's Jodio?
It's fun saying Jodio.
I mean, it's okay.
Alright.
I'm just like, where's it from? Because like all the other names is clearly English or Japanese or Italian, and then there's Jodio. And like, okay, are the two like half siblings, or they had some weird genetics when the dad and mom split up?
I don't know why Japan fucking loves. Like, these two are siblings, but this one's dark skin and this one's light skin. And of course, the light skin one's the protagonist.
Poochie.
Hermes and her sister.
Oh yeah.
So I think they're just regular siblings,
Got that weird genetics going on.
So what do you think about the whole, this is the principal, she's our boss, she tells us to steal $6 million gems?
It's kind of clever in a way where like she knows all the students and can bring them in for her like gang. But to be honest, I don't know if principals knowing a lot of students is a Japanese thing.
Oh.
I don't think that's an American thing.
You don't think our McKinley principal knows all the students?
No.
How could you? McKinley's a very good school.
We were reading it and I was like, oh, like McKinley High School? And you're like, we have a McKinley High School? Is it a good school? And I'm like, oh my god, don't ask me, I don't know.
That's definitely not the one we drive by with the metal detectors, right? Or like the gun safety.
That's Farrington, I believe.
Farrington's not a good school, y'all. If Godio, I keep calling him Godio. If Jodio went to, what'd you say? Farrington, that's a troubled school, my dudes.
That's not necessarily true. They're just kind of a bad neighborhood. But to be fair, he's also going to
a boutique in Kalihi.
So, it's, if you don't know, it's not the best neighborhood.
Yeah, we're not gonna, Kahala is where you wanna be at. When he gets money, first house he's gonna get is Kahala. Sometimes we just throw in some Hawaiian words that way. We remind you we're Hawaiian.
Hawaii locals. You can't say Hawaiian. We're not Hawaiian blood.
That's stupid because we're Americans, but we're not white.
America, the way the Europeans came and defined it as, we're just like this melting pot or cultural assimilation. I forget what the proper word is for it, but we're an assimilation of different cultures.
Going back to the story, next chapter they're going to, I think, the Big Island, Hawaii.
Next chapter? Oh, I see what you mean.
And they're going to steal a gem from a Japanese witch guy, and I'm like, okay, this guy is clearly the Higashikata. Come on, don't fuck with me here.
And his favorite Higashikata, Jobin, is coming back.
Don't do that. I'm already having a list of favorite characters that died the most poignant death.
Jobin.
Hot Pants.
Oh god, what's that one named in the fifth one?
Narancia?
Risotto?
Oh, him, yeah. I like Risotto.
Yeah, I wonder why.
He had a nice death, though. We had like a proper death in a proper battle. He wasn't like Hot Pants, who discovered a spider and then got jumped out of the train. Fucking, and everyone debated, wait, did Hot Pants die? Because that doesn't seem right that the nun died from just leaving a train.
That's what happens when you're a woman.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? I keep forgetting that Hot Pants is only non-binary in the fandom.
What?
Yeah, because when you meet Hot Pants, everyone thinks that they're a dude and they don't correct them, but they're none, so clearly that was assigned female at birth, AFAB. So next chapter, I'm kind of hoping we see Gappy, but I know that's not gonna happen.
Oh my god, get over it.
Because JoJoLands 2011, and if this taking place in 2022, it would have been 11 years. By then, Gappy could have bought a $6 million gem.
You think Gappy can buy a $6 million gem, travel to the Big Island, and get robbed by his counterpart cousin?
Okay, clap for the fact that Joseph didn't cheat yet until part 10.
Allegedly. That's what I meant to say. I just meant like not caught yet. But it's always funny to say allegedly. Allegedly.
That's because of the Bluey episode. Like, Dad, fluffied. Allegedly. What does allegedly mean? Shut up, Bingo. You didn't pronounce the word right.
How come you don't like bingo? Louis can't say it either.
Yes, I can. Watch this. And it blows up in our little skit because I want this over. Alright, first vibes. How does Gojo fuck me in the asshole? Jodio's first impression compared to like Jolene and anyone else's that you remember?
Okay, that's an interesting, like the very first chapter.
Yeah, because if you need a refresher, Jonathan, he was just kind of a boy. Joseph, he met that black kid.
Joseph one was cool.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I'm gonna save this kid from like a bunch of assholes. And he had something about a trick with a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
Cap? Yeah.
Johto was in prison.
A punk.
Josuke had the turtle. And then Giorno, he robbed Koichi.
With his nice pink ass suit though.
Jolene went to a car accident, then went to prison.
And sweared a lot.
Johnny was in a wheelchair. Gappy was 4 balls. That's not even exaggerating.
The kidnap of the JoJo.
And now go deal.
I like Jodio's introduction. Like I said, sassy, smart.
He gets bitches.
I'm apparently, right? A little pretentious, slow to act, but like kind of head first. I think he's definitely upper half. I still think Joseph is probably the best in terms of first impressions because he was just this funny, charismatic dude who just wanted to do right by his grandma. And I was like, okay, Mr. got everything. Although he's got an attitude problem.
Then after that would be Jolene for masturbating in prison, right?
No, she was crying because she got caught and looked like a bitch ass whore. And she was in prison because basically she got screwed by a guy. So that's just not good female writing. At least for her first impression. I think Jolene as a female character overall is great. But as a first chapter, it doesn't come off very well. I think Giorno's one was actually pretty good because his powers was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he had the frog. And then you got to see the suitcase turn into a frog fetus.
Will you stop talking about frogs?
When Giorno stopped talking about frogs, I'll stop talking about frogs.
I feel like you talk a lot about frogs in JoJo.
I mentioned it once.
And the turtle?
Again, that's a Rocky's problem, not mine.
I didn't care for Jotaro's one. I felt like him being in prison, and I think it's because you really like Joseph at that point, and then like Jotaro's this punk, and it's like, what is your deal?
I think personally for me, Jotaro is just a little confusing, only because that's when they first introduced stands.
Ah, that's a good point. Hey, him and his daughter were in jail.
No. Cujos!
And both Johnny and Jonathan were just dudes. Rich. Wait a second. Is Johnny rich?
I think he lost all his money because he was trying to cure his legs.
Oh, that's right. He's like disowned, right?
Yeah.
Rich dudes.
I wonder if anyone got confused in part 7 because, like, you know, that's when the universe reset. They were like, who's Gyro? Like, I guess he's our new protagonist. Oh shit, the guy in the wheelchair is named Johnny Joestar.
That is interesting, right? Like, if you. Because when we started reading JoJo, we already knew this information. But if you were like first up, the world has just restarted, and you meet a guy named Johnny Joestar who looks nothing like Jonathan Joestar, but has a pet named Danny. Then it's like, what happened? Wait, is Dragona gonna be the Joe Bro?
I mean, we just have to see, you know?
It better not be Paco.
I have a theory that, well, not theory, more like a vibe. You know how, like, Jodio was, I'm the youngest, I'm the gopher, I won't be able to make any decisions, I have to look at the other two. I'm afraid that the other two is gonna die on the job.
Really?
Yeah, and that's gonna be the launching point of why Jodio wants to become, like, Filthy Witch.
I thought you were gonna say that, like, he was gonna be very reaction like Giorno. Another parallel. Because Giorno was very, like, not initiative taking, really. He always followed Bruno.
Yeah.
And he was the newbie of his group.
Yep.
Or I guess the youngest. Or, you know, the green thumb of them all.
Yeah, so I'm afraid that Dragona might be relegated to whatever that black kid in part 2 of, like, you think he's gonna be a Joe Bro, but then get written out later.
I think his name was Smokey.
Smokey.
Is that racist?
I think he became like a mayor or something.
Does he?
I'm pretty sure he grows up to be influential. Good for him. So like, part 2, we didn't meet Caesar for a long time.
That's true. Oh god, is this gonna be a group dynamic? Because JoJo has either the pairs or the group dynamics. I've liked the pairs.
Oh.
I feel like, especially after Steel Ball Run, because I feel like JoJoLand was more of a group dynamic. Because you're always talking about the group of the family, and Yasuo was not really there. Let's be honest.
Yasuo did a damn best.
And whoever that grape guy was.
Right. Yasuo had to juggle being a Joe Bro and a Joe Ho. She had a lot on her shoulders.
Sure, but Paisley Park was not that useful for someone who's like, I can find you who you need.
Later on, I'm going to show you a video of AI fake voices of Donald Trump and Biden playing Overwatch. Funniest shit I ever saw. I fully believe Paisley Park could recreate that.
No, we can't support AI generated things.
Unless it's for funny, right?
No, because like...
Then Paisley Park's gonna come and ruin the economy.
Paisley Park is gonna say that Donald Trump endorses Joe Biden to be president. We're like, that's not right. Put him in asylum.
Okay, but I talked a lot about what I hope to see from Part 9 JoJoLands.
Gappy.
Shut up. Is there anything like you hope that's more like Part 5 again? I know you don't because you hated Part 5.
I didn't hate Part 5. I just didn't like the ending or the villain. I wish JoJoLand had better looking characters. I think Jodio and Dragona are good looking, but the other two fuckers are ugly as sin.
How dare you say that about Paco Love Handles? 2 years ago, he used to be kind of chubby. Look at him now. He's ripped.
And ugly. And I don't know if his muscle thing is his stand or his natural ability.
No, in the manga it says that's his stand ability.
That he can like grab things with any muscle?
Hell yeah. You know why he's 19 and still in high school? He was fucking for 1 year.
Because he's a drug dealer. And the dude targets minors.
Bruno for Part 5. We don't sell drugs to kids. Jodio. Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm too busy getting bitches.
Bruno looks at Mike like, this is like $40. You're gonna ruin your classmate for $40.
Like, I'll do it for a corn chip if I'm being honest, bro.
$40 make you holler.
I also love the fact, like, this is so stupid that Jodio rode the bus to school, but it was clearly a public transit bus because it had the handrails and it wasn't a school bus. So this kid on a public transit bus just straight up said, "Give me drugs." And he asked, "Why did I get my ass kicked?" If you see something, say something.
And always stand up for old people when you're on the bus.
Oh, I don't know if this is a mainland thing, but I believe mainland people aren't as polite. But if you do not stand for old people in Hawaii, holy shit, women are gonna go all over your ass.
They look at you, they talk to you, and it's like, oh my god, I've been standing all day.
I have a really big backpack full of non-drugs. Please let me sit. The joke wasn't that funny, but it hits really close to home for Minty. We had the fattest Asian backpack, let me tell you. We needed the textbooks for every subject 24/7. The only book I didn't take with me was my math book because I do math every day, homie. No, I meant religion book. That was a
I thought you were gonna
book.
say Bible.
That's a good one. Don't need that shit. Not where I'm going selling drugs.
Anyways, we're not doing like a chapter reaction. Oh my god, we should do a drawing chapter reaction.
I'll try.
I mean, it's gonna be once a month.
I mean, yeah, true that.
So I guess you can look forward to that if we decide to do it. Because I don't think we actually ever did it for the last chapter of Hunter x Hunter. Or whatever.
Got busy.
We'll probably do another JoJoLand episode when it ends, which will be like 10 years from now.
Or when the hiatus happens.
Oh, fuck that.
Until then, stay in school and don't do drugs. Except if your name is Jodio.
Be a drug mule.